So, in the last week, we had D23, which is pretty much Disney's own personal Comic-Con. A convention where they celebrate all things Disney and like to make big announcements, debut trailers, all that sort of thing. And just on the first day alone, they released so much stuff, so I'm well and truly swamped trying to keep up. Recently, I took a look at the new Mufasa trailer, and so next up, I reckon I'll do the next trailer for Moana 2. It was good. It showed off high-quality animation and a couple of the bare basic plot points, but it didn't give us much beyond that. Here, we delve a little bit deeper, but not too much, and start to see much more of the story and the characters coming together. I'm actually rather hyped for this film, truth be told. I really enjoyed the first Moana film. I thought it was really fresh and fun with a great set of visuals and a top-level soundtrack, so let's hope they can repeat some of that magic. And so yeah, on with the trailer. We start off with a sequence of Moana running through a forest, doing some nature parkour, seemingly being pursued by a wild animal. And I have to say, it's honestly insane to me how far animation's come in my lifetime. When I was a little kid watching early Pixar and the last vestiges of the traditionally animated Disney era, it really did feel like that was the peak in terms of visual quality. I'd never seen anything quite like it. Same for stuff like the OG Shrek films. But now we just keep hitting a whole new level with every year that passes. I mean, look at this. The light shining down through the jungle canopy, the quality of the plants, the grass, the leaves, the physics of how everything shifts and moves when Moana barges through the plants, the dust cloud that rises up when Moana leaps across the chasm and lands. It's just insane. And of course, at the end of this sequence, we get the reveal that she wasn't actually running away from anything at all. It's just her friendly little pig companion. My god, that pig is cute. And once again, the attention to detail here. When he collapses from exhaustion, his face is all squished up. And some of his teeth are poking out of his mouth. Oh, it's crazy the things that they think about to add in. Also the hairs on the pig, seeing the individual strands in the light, hell yeah. And yeah, this scene pretty much sets up that the pig is going to be a bigger part of this movie. Good, I love the pig. He's indeed a cutie. And I honestly do remember being rather shocked in the first movie when he'd featured so heavily in Moana's storyline on the island, only to be left behind and not feature in the film much at all. Instead, they took the weirdo chicken. And don't get me wrong, I like the weirdo chicken. I would have liked both in the original story, you get me? After all, the adorable animal companion is a time-honored tradition for the Disney princess. Pretty much all of them have one. Although at least this time, we'll get just that. The pig is in the story at long last. And so we go from cute to cute, as we see that, I think it's supposed to have been like a 3-year gap or something like that. In that 3-year gap, Moana's parents have had another child. And this kid, their daughter, is very, very cute. Very much on the level of baby Moana for me, but with the added bonus of dialogue. Whoever they got to do the voice, my god, perfection. She feels like she's going to be the pig character of this film. Right there at the start of the movie, distractingly adorable, steals the scenes, has a lot of chemistry with Moana, and is one of the major memorable characters. Only to be left behind and not feature in the film beyond like the first 10 minutes, because Moana goes off on her next quest, and we don't see her until right at the end for like 30 seconds where they can hug and reunite and it's all wholesome and beautiful. So I definitely think we're going to come out of Moana 2 wanting more from this little kid in Moana 3. Will there even be a Moana 3 though? Actually, not all that certain. The first film did well at the box office, don't get me wrong, it grossed over $600 million, but for me, the films that Disney Pixar seem to want to keep bringing back again and again and again for more films are like Incredibles, Toy Story, Zootopia, Frozen. All films that have crossed the big billion before. And I guess we'll have to wait and see to see if Moana 2 can get itself into that top echelon, where they can keep milking the story for years and years to come. Although, since they seem to be backing way the hell off from doing original content after years of fails, maybe they will just bring it back again. Even marginal success is better than no success. Time will tell. And yeah, anyway, this kid features rather heavily in the opening section of the trailer. We see her with Moana on the beach, we see her with Moana in the Wayfinder's Cave, telling her of their people. We have a very beautiful soundtrack here laid over the top, and we get some really cute interactions between the little kid and the ocean. I really enjoyed that the ocean is a character of its own in these films. Really love the water effects as well. Whenever I watch it, that clear, light bluish hue, it just makes me want to go for a swim or to drink it. Just be enveloped in it. Either of those things. You get what I mean? And so this is where the hook of the story comes into play. Moana tells her sister that in the olden days, well before Maui screwed everything up and made the seas uninhabitable for humans, their people had travelled the seas as wayfinders, trying to connect their people to everybody else in the Pacific Ocean, to forge bonds and connections between different islands and different peoples. And so I guess, since the end of the first film, it's likely that Moana's been doing just that. She's been exploring, trying to find different islands and peoples, and you'd have to expect that she's had some measure of success doing this. I think it would be pretty ridiculous if she hadn't, and she'd been working all this time and had nothing to show for it, but at the same time it would be very funny. But I gotta say, considering the trailer makes her out to be an experienced wayfinder and an important part of the community, she has to have had some success. Just not enough for the ancestors, who send her some pretty stern messages to get back out there and keep at it. At a ceremony in the village in front of everybody, she gets blasted by a lightning bolt that rips through their hut and lands right in front of her. And I gotta say, that is one cool looking sequence, where it goes slow-mo and you see the lightning with the smouldering hut and the flecks of rubble flying through the air. Oh, I love that kind of thing. And not to beat a dead horse, but my god, the animation here is off the charts. Shout out to the lighting of it as well. I'm actually getting to the point where I really don't know how much they can even improve everything by this stage. Like, surely there isn't much more that can be done to make it look better while still retaining a more cartoonish animated look. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm no animator after all. But geez. And then the other sign from the ancestors, seemingly a shooting star type of deal, likely leading Moana in the direction she needs to go. I mean, that's what I would expect at least, feels rather obvious. And so it seems like the quest is going to be to go to a cursed island that I assume has a lost tribe of peoples on it, and to reunite them with Motunui. And by doing so, it'll break the curse that was forcing them to remain there, and with her on this quest will come her crew of wayfinders, who seem to be a rather ramshackle band, not the standard seafarer type. So I'm guessing that just like Moana, who got zapped with lightning as we see earlier in the trailer, they're going to all get their own sort of personal signal, message, command, telling them that they have to take part in this journey alongside her. So from promotional materials, we know that she has 3 crew members. I'm probably going to butcher these names. Loto, who is described as brainy, but quirky. Kele, I think, no idea if I pronounced that right, who is a grumpy farmer, and Moni, who has no description. But there is a scene where Maui, who is also obviously joining the team, makes his grand entrance, and the dude gets lightheaded and collapses. So I think we all know what type of character he's going to be. Also, first look at who I assume is the grumpy farmer, and I have to say, his description is very apt. We then have our first look at the villain, or what I assume is the villain of the film. And surely this one will actually have a villain. I thought it was very clever in the first movie that there was a villain fake out. The lava dude was just cursed, and was Te Fiti all along. Whilst the real villain, in a way, was Maui, because he was the one who stole the heart of Te Fiti in the first place, and so the story was really about him redeeming his actions with the encouragement and help of Moana. And whilst that was very fun and a cool way to do a twist villain, I don't think doing it back to back would be compelling or interesting in any way. So I think Matangi, no idea, should be a straightforward villain. And boy, she looks it from what we've seen. They've gone full spooky motif with the dark background, the silhouette, the big massive bats surrounding her. All things that just scream villain. And there's also the fact that we see her fighting Maui, a hero, and also threatening to destroy both him and Moana, but with an emphasis on him. So clearly she has a bone to pick with Maui specifically, or maybe just views him as the bigger threat. And I honestly wouldn't be shocked to see her take him out of commission early on in the film, like take him hostage or something, maybe strand him on the cursed island that Moana's trying to get to, so that Moana and her crew really feel like they're on their own. It ups the stakes, and makes things feel a bit more dramatic because they don't have an ass-kicking demigod there to try to help them out should they need it. And since we have a number of shots where the Wayfinders are on their own, with no Maui in sight, I definitely think there is going to be some sort of separation. Anyway, we then see a shot of a big-ass storm, and what is a sailing movie without a big-ass storm? And it looks slightly magical. Well, probably more than a bit magical. It is purple. We see the Wayfinders get sucked into some water vortex tunnel thing. Yeah, falling down. Is this the same way that they go into the underworld in the first movie, or is this going to be something different? And it also looks like that, even if just for a couple of scenes, Moana is going to get separated from her crew. Probably going to meet the villain herself alone at that time. You know, it's what usually happens in those sorts of moments. Because she's alone and vulnerable, and it ups the tension. We also continue to play on the cuteness of the little kid, with a close-up of her sad little face as she ponders whether Moana will really come back from this journey. And, it's Disney. The main character's going to be just fine, kid. Although I guess to a little kid watching the trailer, maybe it would be more ambiguous. I don't know, sometimes things are just there to get you hyped and interested. And the little girl's cute, so I get it. It is good marketing. Same with showing the rooster just walk off the boat for no reason, or the pig stealing food. It's funny and it's cute. It makes you happy, and it makes you just want to see the movie. We also see that Moana's going to meet her gran again as a Force ghost, and it seems I was wrong about the Kakamora. In the first teaser, I figured that in her travels, Moana would have somehow made peace with them, and was going to be some big misdirect to make her look awesome and experienced, but nope, they attack her, and they take her out with sleeping darts. Bad luck. Also, I love how they splice together 2 obviously different scenes to make that brief fight extended. The actual Kakamora scene, combined with them leaving their island complete with the whole town in the background, unless that scene has them get clapped right in front of everybody in their town, which would be funny but less than inspiring. Yeah, so I'm guessing they get got, the coconuts rob them or something. I doubt they're going to be held hostage too long or anything like that. I mean, maybe they'll even escape. Maybe the crew will do something. I mean, it is possible, but I reckon they get robbed of all their supplies and sent off to get eaten by that big thing in the background. And so, yeah, not really much else to say beyond that. That's all we got for the trailer today. And so I would like to remind you, these have just been my opinions, and I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the Moana 2 trailer? Did you like it? Hate it? You eager for the film? Maybe not. I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.